सर्गस्थिति प्रलय हेतुमचिन्त्य शक्तिं विश्वेश्वरं विदित विश्वमनन्तमूर्तिं निर्मुक्त बन्धनमपार सुखाम्बुराशिं श्रीवल्लभं विमलबोधघनं नमामि। यस्य प्रसादात् अहमेव विष्णुर्मय्येव सर्वं परिकल्पितं च इत्थं विजानामि सदात्मरूपं तस्याङ्घ्रिपद्मं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। We are studying Sri Shankaracharya's Vakyavrutti, and we are studied up to Sloka 31. Yes. And we have to study up to 32 now. But before that, let us remember the connections that the Shishya has approached the Guru, and Guru has told them that Tattvamasi sentence will give rise to the knowledge in you. And then the Shishya said, I do not know the meaning of the words. How can I know the meaning of the sentence? And Guru says, you are right. We must know the meaning of the words first. And so he has explained the meaning of the word Tvam up till now. And then in at Sloka 28, he has told that by becoming certain about the meaning of the word Tvam, then you should think of the meaning of the word Tat. And how to understand the meaning of the word Tat? Atad vyavrutti rupena sakshat vidimukena. That means removing those ideas which come in our mind when we hear Tat, but which are not the real nature of Tat. Atad vyavrutti rupena. We have to remove from our mind those ideas which rise in our mind in place of Tat, which are not really Tat. They have to be removed first. And then the positively we must think of what that Tat is. Both are very important. Because I find generally, I have attended, as I was telling you, many Vedanta conferences. And when they utter with their gestures, Brahma Satyam, without defining what is Brahman, they simply say Brahma Satyam. So something is Satya and Jagat Mithya. So many wrong things happen due to this wrong assumption. So we must know clearly the meaning of the word Brahman. The very word Brahman denotes something, certain things, not just some Brahman. Not that it appears as if some object is true and others are false. That is not true. So, not only we should know what is not Brahman, but we should also know what it is. So, Atad Vyavrutti Rupena Sakshat Vidhi Mukhya. Sakshat means directly by what is posited. Vidhi Mukhya means that which is posited about Brahman, about Tat, we must know. What is posited means what is in the Rishi's mind when he has uttered the word Tattvamasi. To understand this sentence, we must understand what is not meant by Tat by the Rishi, though it appears in our mind, and what is actually hinted or indicated by the Rishi, that we must always know. That is the way, very important, please. And in this you'll find that when the Rishi talks of Brahman, he means Nirgun, Sagun, Brahma both. Not that two Brahmans, but both aspects of Brahman are told when the word Brahman is uttered. When Tat is told, what is the meaning of the word Brahman? Brahman means all pervading. The very first meaning of Brahman is that it is all pervading. Is it not the description of Sagun Brahman? And then we are told, Janmadi Asya Yata, that it is the cause of appearance, stability, and disappearance of this world. It is both the cause of stability of this world, appearance of this world, and dissolution of the world. So through the world, we have to search out what is Brahman. So these are the various positive indications of Brahman that we must know. So this shloka is very important from that point of view, that when the word Tat is uttered, it is indicative of Brahman, and we must know what is not Brahman, though it comes in our mind. And what comes in our mind? Remote something, at distant something, different from us. That is what happens when the word Tat is used. That is that which we cannot experience today. If we experience today, it is called this. That is called a remote place. So is it remote? It is not remote at all. So we must feel clearly what has to be negated and what has to be positive. Both are important. So that is what is told in the Shloka 28. And then from Shloka 29 onwards, we are going back to get the connection. In Shloka 29, we are told, Nirasta Shesha Sansara Dosho, Stuladi Lakshana, Adrishyatwadi Gunakaha, Parakrutatamo Malah. Whatever we find the characteristics of Sansara, they are all, that is a dosha, that is a big blemish. And when all these blemishes are removed, so that is what is to be removed. That means somebody, no, that has to be removed. And another thing to be removed is Asthuladi Lakshana. This is taken from Brihadaranyaka. All these are references to the Upanishads, completely from in the Vakya Vritti. With the help of Upanishads, only we have to understand the meaning of the sentence Tattvamasi. So, all the Upanishads are being referred to by Shankaracharya here. So, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the we must remember clearly the whole situation, then we understand the spirit, not only the sentence particular. Janaka was doing a yajna, and yajna was a pretext. He invited, you may say, all the scholars or all the Brahmins or all the rishis, whatever name you like to give. And his idea was they will talk about Brahman and I will listen. That was his main interest. So he declared that he will give plenty of dakshinas to all because they may require to attend their ashramas and all that. But he has kept separately 1,000 cows, which decorated with golden rings, 5 in each horn, and he will give it to that Brahmin who is the best among the speakers on Brahman. Now nobody dared to say, I am best. Then Yajnavalkya got up and told his disciple Somashrava, take these cows to our ashrama. Then Janaka's priest, Ashwala, and other Brahmins said, no, no, this will not do. You have to prove that you are the greatest Brahmin. Yajnavalkya says, I require the cows. I salute whoever is the greatest Brahmin. That will not do. Then Yajnavalkya says, all right, you ask me questions and I will see whether I am able to reply or not. I will ask questions and see whether you are able to reply or not. That is the best way. So people start asking him questions on various aspects of the karma kand that Janaka's preached and others. And he was adept in everything. Whatever is told, the whole Shukla Yajurved was his. So he knows everything. So he went on telling the replies to that questions. But then some people thought when the Yajnavalkya is there, why are they discussing karma kand? So they started discussing or asking him questions about Brahman, and he was replying to them. In between came this Gargi. Gargi once put a question, intellectually trying to ascertain the nature of Brahman, and Yajnavalkya said, if you proceed this way, your head will fall. So she stopped. But again she arose and she told all the Brahmins, everything is important here. She told all the Brahmins that I will ask 2 questions of Yajnavalkya. And if he is able to reply to those questions, then all of you just salute him and go away. Nobody can compete with him. From this, so many lessons are coming anyway. And Gargi asked him first question about all pervading nature of Akash. And Yajnavalkya could reply that. In the second question, she is asking, what is pervading this Akash also? Now, if the Yajnavalkya, her idea is this, if Yajnavalkya tells such and such thing, then he is gone because Brahman cannot be expressed by mouth. And if he says it cannot be expressed by mouth, then how you are the greatest speaker? So she wanted to trap him. But Yajnavalkya was a past master. So he started telling negatively and then said, this is what positively also it is. And they said, this is what the Norse of Brahman speak. So avoided the uh, this dosha of his own speaking. But he knew everything. So he says, this is what the Norse of Brahman speak. In that, he has told 19 negatives. Or I cannot memorize and tell you, but I remember the number 19. And the first is Astulam. He is not gross, he is not subtle, he is not this body, he is not the parts of the body, he is not past, he is not present, he is not future. So in this way, that is what the Atad Vyavrutti Rupena. Whatever comes in our mind as the cause of the world, like some material, no, he is not that. Whatever comes in our mind as the material cause of this world, he is not that. He is no subject creating the world. He is no object to be created as the world. So in this way, 19 negatives he says, and that is this Asthula, the Vilakshana. Vilakshana is another word which I explained to you several times, not different from, but different characteristics from. Because if different from something, then we land in duality, Brahman and something. So Brahman is not different from anything of this world, but the characteristics are different. What we are seeing is appearance of Brahman. So the characteristics are different. So Astuladi Vilakshana, Astuladi Lakshana here, Astula, etc., are the characteristics of that Brahman. Adrishyatwadi Gunaka. Now this is from Mundakopanishad. Mundakopanishad, the Angiras is telling Shaunaka that yattat adreshyam, adrayam, etc. So from there, adreshyatwadi gunaka, that means not an object at all. It cannot be seen. Does not mean he is some unseen thing. He is not an object at all. Parakruta tamomala. That darkness which is due to ignorance is beyond that also. So he is not something simply unknown, but is beyond the darkness of ignorance. Nirasta Atishaya Ananda. Nirasta Atishaya. That means Ananda. That is the negative way of putting something more than superlative. We may say best, but then the doubt becomes something may be better than that. But when we say nothing better than that, that is the most positive statement. So, Nirasta Atishaya Ananda. Brahman is of the nature of bliss. This one should remember. If you don't know the Brahman is the nature of bliss, what do you know about Brahman? So, we must remember the meaning of the word Tat as given by the Upanishads, and the Upanishads repeatedly tell us Brahman is that bliss beyond which there cannot be any happiness. Nirasta Atishaya Ananda. No Ananda can be greater than this. Even the Gita tells like that. And in the Taittiriya Upanishad, a table is given about Ananda, and the highest Ananda, it falls short of Brahma's Ananda. And that is why it is Nirasta Atishaya Ananda. Satya Pragyana Vigraha. Now, this is a positive statement. Ananda Swarupa Brahman is a positive statement. Another positive statement is Satyam is existence and Pragyana Vigraha, consciousness congealed, consciousness, embodiment of consciousness. So a very definite thing is told. What it means? My consciousness is not my consciousness. Your consciousness is not your consciousness. Consciousness in anywhere in the world is Brahma consciousness. So it is the consciousness of the entire world. That is the meaning of Vigraha. Is the entire consciousness of the entire universe. You have to think of this positively, and also existence. We cannot say Brahman exists, because to say Brahman exists, we have to exist separately to say Brahman exists. But the very existence is Brahman. If I say this table exists, table is a form, and the existence is Brahman. In this way, in the Gita second adhyaya, 16 shloka, this has been described. In the Nasato Vidyate Bhava Nabhava Vidyate Sata, we have been told that there is Asti Buddhi in us and an object Buddhi in us. When I say this table, this is the table, I mean table and isness. And that isness is Brahman. Suppose you remove the table, not that everything will go away. Isness can never go away. If table is not there, the floor is there. If the floor is not there, the earth is there. If the earth is not there, like that, we can never annihilate existence. So these are the positive statements about Brahman. Unless we conceive them, we cannot understand Tattvamasi. So this is the matter of conception. We must be very clear about it. Satya Pragyana Vigraha, Satta Swalakshana, Satta Swalakshana. Its own characteristics is existence. So though Satya was given previously along with Pragyana, so there we can say real consciousness, because Satya is attached to Pragyana there and existence is separated here. Satta is Swalakshana. His own characteristics is that it is existence. Purna, Purna means infinite. Purna means full. Purna means infinite. Purna means which has no apurnata. Purna is that which there is no want, there is nothing less. It is complete, so it is infinite. All these meanings are attached to the word that which is Brahman. Paramatma iti giyate. Paramatma also we should understand. It is not that there is a Jivatma and a Paramatma. Sometimes my body I call Atman, my mind is Atman. So I consciousness is Atman, but they are not real Atman. So what is the real Atma of every person in this world is called Paramatma. When we find the real Atma, this I cannot stick there. I and mind, so long as they stick, it is not real Atma. They are changing. And when we go beyond I and mind, then only we get the real Atma. And in that case, it is universal. There is nothing to limit it with the idea of I and mind. So Paramatma iti giyate, the scriptures sing of it as Paramatma. 31. Sarvajnatvam Pareshatvam Tatha Sampurna Shaktita Vedai Samarthate Yasya Tad Brahma iti Avadharaya. Vedas are telling us he is Sarvajna. Here again the same thing. Not that he is more, his knowledge is more than anybody in the world. That much is not the meaning. My knowledge is not my knowledge, it is his knowledge. He is the knower in me. He is the knower in you. He is the knower in everybody. He is the knower in the gods. He is the knower in the demons. So knower is he only. And so he knows everything. Shankar defines Sarvajnatva as he is all and his knowledge. So he knows everything. Sarvajnatvam, Pareshatvam. Pareshatvam, we refer to Shveta Shaturupnisha. Param is supreme, Isham is Lord or governor of this universe. So there are so many lords in this universe and so many devatas and so many conceptions of God. But who is the real permanent God of this universe? You must remember that. Important thing being told about Brahman is that in the Shatar Upanishad, in the sixth chapter, Ye Ishe Asya Jagato Nityameva Nanyo Hetur Vidyate Ishanaya. He is the ruler of this universe eternally. And There is no other cause, there is no other person who can rule this world eternally. Sankhya's conceive of a Kalpaniyama Ishwar. But no, eternally he is the ruler who transcendent immanent reality can only be the ruler of this world. Extra cosmic God will cannot rule this world permanently. And so, Pareshatvam, Tata Sampurna Shaktita, important, very important. Because most of the people think that Shankar does not accept Shakti. And here he says Sampurna Shaktita. Just like Sarvajñat, we have to think of Sampurna Shaktita. Not that he has a great power. Great power, I told you the other day. Hitler, Mussolini, Ravan, Kumbhakarna, Kamsa, they have great power. But that great power can be defeated by people, other people coming together. A great wave cannot be the greatest. Only the ocean can be the greatest. Not only ocean, the water is greatest, which is the constituent of every wave. So, Sir Purna Shaktita, last time we referred to the story in the Kenopanishad that Agni, Vayu and their Shakti, it is only his Shakti. He has given to you and me a little Shakti to live in this world. And if you properly use it, according to Shri Krishna's description, if you properly use it, we can give little more Shakti also. And if you do not use it properly, he can withdraw also. So my power, your power, you see, this very idea gives such a rise to bhakti and humility. I don't have power of my own. It is his power I am using. Should I not be devoted to him? So all these have their implications which we must think. That is the way to know the indicated meaning of the word tat, that we must know the implication of all the ideas associated with it. And this is definitely an idea associated with that. All the scriptures are talking about that. So only the word Brahman will not do. Sampurna Shaktita Vedai Samarthate Yasya. In the Upanishads, Veda here refers directly to Upanishads, they are supporting his idea of Sarvajñatva, Pareshatva, Sampurna Shaktita. Shankar cannot go beyond the scriptures. So he may emphasize the Nirguna aspect a little more, but if he denies Shakti, then where does he stand? All the Upanishads are telling about the Shakti. And so he says, Sampurna Shaktita, Vedai Samarthate Yasya, Tad Brahma iti avadara. At this point, he has introduced the word Brahman. I have been telling Brahman from the beginning of this class that Tat means Brahman. And here Shankara has introduced the word that when the word Tat is used, what is indicated is Brahman. And to think of Brahman, you should think in this way. Atadvyavrutti rupena, sakshat vidhi mukhena cha. So whatever the rishis have posited, all these things will come our mind. Then we will find that this Tom is not separate from it at all. So, unless we find the real meaning of the two words, indicated meaning of the two words, we cannot find the meaning of the sentence that is true. So, now we come to 32. Yad jnanat sarva vijnanam shrutishu pratipaditam murdadi aneka drishtantai tad brahma iti avadharaya be formed in your dharana conception of Brahman like this. Now, here is a Shrutishu, plural. So he's not referring to one particular Upanishad here. Shrutishu, Murdadi Aneka Drishtantai. Now, immediately, but it should be more than two when it is plural. But two things come immediately to my mind, Mundaka and Chandogya. In Mundaka, Shaunaka is asking Angirasa, knowing what? Everything will be known. So, Yad Jnanat Sarva Vijnanam, by whose knowledge we know everything. That is Tat. So that is Tat Brahma. And in the Chandogya, the story is like this. Aruni was a great rishi, his son was Shetaketu, and Shetaketu went to study outside. 12 years he studied and came back. Result was not satisfactory. So Aruni is telling, we are not asked for that, knowing which unknown things also become known. He could not understand how it can be Father. He says, if you know the real nature of clay, do you not know everything made of clay? That is what is referred to here. Three examples he gives there. If you know the real nature of iron, do you not know the nature of everything made of iron? If you know the real nature of gold, do you not know the real nature of everything made of gold? In this way, there is one knowing which you know everything. So this reference is to Chandogya, and Mundaka Upanishad, the very question is seeking the common reality. And Shaunaka is a grasta, but he has so much evolved that he feels that there is a reality in the world which is common to you and me, which is common to me and the inanimate objects. And then only this statement comes that knowing what, everything will be known. So these are the two places, remember. And in every Upanishad, this idea is there. Different examples are given, and this very idea is given everywhere. So, Murdadi Aneka Drishtantai, more than one Drishtantas, several Drishtantas, that Brahma iti avadaraya. That is Brahman. So in this Vakyavrutti, such a beautiful thing Shankar is presenting, that when we are told Tattvamasi, what is the indicated meaning of the word Tat? We must know. We must remove from our mind all the limited concepts of Tat. And so he continues, 33. Yada nantyam pratigyaya shruti tat siddhaye jagau tat karyatvam prapanchasya tad brahmeti vadharaya. So two things here. Shruti has Pratigaya declared or promised that it is infinite. And that Siddhaya, to prove to us that it is infinite or to carry it in our mind that it is infinite, Shruti has told us that the world is its karya. This is clearly Taittiriya Upanishad. Bhrigu goes to his father Varuna, ask him, Father, please teach me Brahman. And Varuna tells him, my son, from what everything has come, due to what everything is stable, into which everything returns at the end. If you can know that, that is Brahman. So definition of Brahman is given in this way. So this Acharya is telling here, this makes Brahman infinite. That we have to think properly. Huh? If there is something different from me, it limits my existence. I can never be infinite. How there can be infinite souls? How there can be infinite beings? Impossible. One thing other than the other limits its existence. It can never be infinite. So the real definition of infinite is not vast like the sky. Real definition of infinite is not endless like time. But real definition of infinite is that in Chandogya also it is told, Yatra nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunati, nanyat vijanati tad bhuma. Bhuma is infinite. So where there is no otherness, that is infinite. And that is referred to here that because it is told he has created the world, he preserves the world, he swallows the world. So world is not different from him. There is nothing which is different from him. And that is how he is infinite. There is nothing in the world which can limit its existence. He is being proved by telling us that he is the creator, preserver, and destroyer of this universe, both Upadan Karan and Nimitta Karan, both the intelligent cause and the material cause, both. Because there are philosophies, we think God from nature created this world. That is nonsense. So you must know what the Vedas are telling. So in this 33 shloka, that Vedantas have promised its infiniteness, and to prove that we are told that the whole world. Prapancha means the manifold world. The whole manifold world is its creation. The correct translation should be creation, not modification, as translated in this book. Creation, that karya, that Brahma iti avataraya. So in beautiful way, he's telling, you understand that first. If we come to know that, then we'll know that there is no Tom separate. So if he is the cause of the whole world, is he not my cause? Am I outside the world? And so he is that, you must understand that. 34. Vijidnyasya yascha vedanteshu mumukshvi samarthate yatnena tad brahmetyavadharaya. Vijidnyasya yascha vedanteshu mumukshvi. If you are desire of liberation, then we must know Brahman. That is what the Upanishads have told us. So here, the connection with our desire for liberation, desire for freedom. We can be free only if we know we are one with Brahman. We can be free if we know there is no limitation in Brahman. And so, when the Vedanteshu, here again plural, in the Upanishads, Vedanta means Upanishads. So in the Upanishads, various Upanishads, or the Mumukshu, he has been told that you should realize Vijnasita is not theoretical knowledge, experiential knowledge. We must have the experiential knowledge of that which will make you free. That is transcendent immanent reality only. That will make you free. Samarthate ati yatnena. So carefully, through so many examples, through so many arguments, the Vedantas are telling us that if you want freedom, not freedom of the senses, freedom from the senses, then you must know the infinite reality. That Brahma iti avadhara. That is indicated by the word that जीवात्मना प्रवेशश्च नियंतृत्वं च तान् प्रति श्रूयते यस्य वेदेषु तद् ब्रह्मेत्यवधारय. This also in several Upanishads. He created the world and he entered the world as the real being. It is not to be taken literally. First he created, then he entered. But it is Rishi's experience. Rishi first sees the world and then he understands God is in everything. So the Upanishads are telling that he created the world and Jivatmana Praveshascha. Jivatmana means in the form of Jiva he has entered. Unless he is there, there is no life, there is no consciousness, there is no I consciousness. So in the form of all the I consciousnesses, he has entered. Automatically I becomes identical with that. So we must understand that Samar Shruyate Yasya Vedeshu Niyantrutvam cha tan prati. Because he is the inside of everything, he is the ruler of everything. That is Kenopanishad also. That Kene Shitam Patati Prashita Mana. He is inside everything and so he is the ruler of everything. He directs everything. He is the supreme director, supreme controller of everything. He is inside everything. Shruyate yasya vedeshu. In all the Upanishads we hear of this. Tad Brahma iti avadharaya. Different quotations from Upanishads, different ideas governing the idea of Brahman are being described by Shankaracharya by referring to different Upanishads and different ideas. And all this is the meaning of the word Tat. Though the sentence is Tattvamasi, it whole Vedas become included in that because Tat was seen, Tam was seen, and Tat is described in the Vedanta all through in different characteristics. Another important thing, very important, कर्मणां फलदातृत्वं यस्यैव श्रूयते श्रुतौ जीवानां हेतुकर्तृत्वं तद्ब्रह्मेत्यवधारय. Now, Sagun Brahma only is mentioned here. Huh? And the arguments are like this. If a worker is working, does he automatically get salary? Mimamsakas thought that if we do yajna, we'll get the fruit. No need of God. But everywhere in the Vedanta it is told God, Ishvara, Sagun Brahman is the posited, that the only person giving fruits to all our labors. And the argument provided is in the Mahimna Stotra we get that beautiful shloka. Kratau supte jagrat tamasi phala yoge kritumata. Vakarma pradvastam phalati purusha radhana mrute. Atasvam sampreksha kratushu phaladana pratibhavam. Shrutau shraddham bhatva dhrudha parikara karma sujana. That means we have done a yajna. And the yajna is over. Then when we die, we are going to get the fruit. Who knows how it can get when the yajna is over now? Then they say some adrishta is produced, so many suppositions. But God is there, eternal. He knows the everybody's worth and He gives the fruit. For Him, there is no today or tomorrow. He can remember well, He is all the fruits. So whatever you do, karmanam phaladatrutvam yasya eva. Only He can do that. Shruyate shruto. In Vedas we hear only God can distribute the fruits. So here Brahman again, as the Sagun Brahma or as the ruler, as the dispenser of results, karma phaladhata, that is Ishvara. Jivanam hetu kartrutvam. People do something, it says He makes them do. He makes them do. So I do, you do, it is He who does. Is the supreme authority. Is the supreme authority. He desires. This is how he can desire. He can desire. Well, how can you limit him that he does not desire? Our desires are not fulfilled, and we think like that. But he, whatever he desires, he fulfills. So hetu kartrutvam. That means the kartrutva, individual souls to do whatever they do. Hetu of that kartrutva is he. Why he does so and so? Can we understand as an individual characteristics? Can we understand anybody's tendency? Why I am a different tendency, he has a different tendency, and he is a different. Is there any explanation? It is God who is directing differently every individual. This is a great drama being played by God. And He is all the individuals and He directs all individuals as per His wish. So, Hetu Karturtam, Tad Brahma iti avadharaya. Know for certain, have this eternal Pakka conception that that is Brahman, which is the dispenser of the fruits of every action and causing everybody to do that action and giving him fruit thereof. So this is what he has told about that until now, negatively and positively. And now he says in 37, Tattvam padartho nirnitau vakyarthaschintyate adhuna tadatmamatra vakyartha tayoreva padarthayo. This is having nirnita, having resolved, having decided, having determined finally the meaning, padartha, meaning of the words tat and tvam. Now we should think of the meaning of this sentence tat tvam asi. Vakyartha chintate aduna. Now we are in a position to think of the meaning of the whole sentence tat tvam asi. And what is the meaning? In one word he declares and then he will explain. Tadatmya matra vakyartha. Tayoreva padarthayo. Two words are there, two meanings apparently are there, literal meanings are there, but the indicated meaning will come to the same. Tadatmya means identity between the meanings of we have seen up till now. Whatever Thomas described is not anything connected with I, though it is my reality. And when we say that, it is never exclusive of mine. It is never remote. He is all pervading. He is my reality. So we will find that the identity only is indicated by the sentence Tattvamasi. Now, wrong concepts of this identity are there and they have to be clear. संसर्गो वा विशिष्टो वा वाक्यार्थो नात्र सम्मतः अखंडैकरसत्वेन वाक्यार्थो विदुषां मतः. Through examples we can understand that sansarga, that means not that these two things, tat is different, tam is different, but they stay together. That should not be the meaning. Not that some salokya or sarupya or some type of mukti. So sansarga is not the meaning. Examples, blue lotus. No, lotus is not identical with blue color. Blue color is not identical with lotus. But blue color and lotus are staying together. So two things staying together, that cannot be the meaning of Tattvamasi. Tattvam Asi, that thou art. That means identity, not two things staying together. But generally, that is how the dualists are, this your not this specified non-dualists they take generally. Vishtadvaitis, we are staying with God eternally. Staying with God is not the final answer. Staying with God will not make you free. Unless you are identical with God, you can never have freedom. And the meaning of the word Tattvamasi, Tattvam Asi is very directly told. So it cannot mean Sansarga. Do not think that I will remain associated with God always. That is wrong. Vishishtava, Vishishta Advaita. Vishishta means we are one, but something is special in me. A tree and branch. Now the branch is not separate from the tree, but it is a part of the tree. We cannot conceive of the tree without the branch, but that means he is the whole and we are parts. Here I am reminded of something I want to share with all of you. Sometime back or even today, a great, a great wave was created, and that is holistic science. Holistic science. The word whole is wrong. Whole represents parts, and that is the Ramanuji Vishishta Advaita philosophy. We are parts of God. God is his body. We are parts of God's body. As we have Atman and a body, Vedanta never believes we have an Atman and the body. Vedanta believes a body is an appearance, Atman is the reality. There is a question of Atman and body. So, as we are Atman and body, similarly, God is Atman and body, and we are parts of that body. That is Vishishta. This cannot be the meaning when Tattvam Asi is told. So, having ascertained the meaning of the word Tat and the meaning of the word Tam, we can find out up till now what we have listened that there is no difference between them, they are absolutely identical, and Sansarga type of meaning will not be allowed, Vishishta type of meaning will not be allowed, that I am a part of the whole, he is with me always, I am with him always. This is only a loose meaning to go ahead. That is on the way, this is the meaning. Finally, I have no existence other than him. He is my existence. That should be the result. He is my consciousness. That should be the result. He is my bliss. That should be the result. So Sansarga type of identity is not allowed. Vishishta type of identity is not allowed. There is no identity here. Vakyartha. The meaning of the sentence Tattvamasi should not be taken in the light of Sansarga, contact, two things together, like blue lotus, or Vishishtadvaita, like tree and branch. This should not be, this cannot be the meaning of the sentence Tattvamasi, Natra Sammata. That is not supported by the Vedas. The Vedas do not indicate the meaning that Tat and Tam can stay together, or they are part and whole, or Tat is along with Tam. What is should be the meaning? Akhanda Ekarasattvena. Akhanda, no parts. Ekarasa, homogeneous. That means no heterogeneous substance come there. Consciousness and matter, consciousness and Panchatanmatra, Purusha and Prakriti. This heterogeneity is not possible in the sentence Tattvamasi. And no parts, Akhanda. When we say God is everywhere, God is all pervading. Wrongly, the concept was is in you, is in me, is in she and it. And so, is it divided into small parts that will be in me and you? The only meaning is that he is the only reality. I, you, he, she, it are appearances. Then only he is avivaktam vivakteshu Bhagavad Gita tells us. Appearance is different people, but there is one non-broken reality, Akhanda. And Ekarasa. Rasa is the source of joy, not so-called joy, but that which gives joy is called rasa. And Ekarasam is homogeneous. Homogeneous. Honey or just to examine or exemplify, you can say honey like, not like something in which sugar is put, not that something in which this is done, but homogeneous substance. So in between, we do not come. In between, some matter does not come. That is Brahman. That is the meaning of the word Tattvamasi. Vakyartho Vidushamata. Those who know, their opinion is that the meaning of the sentence Tattvamasi cannot have Sansarga, cannot have Vishishta. It always means Akhanda, unbroken, homogeneous, can only be the meaning. प्रत्येक बोधो य आभाति सो अद्वयानंद लक्षण अद्वयानंद रूपश्च प्रत्येक बोध एक लक्षण वंडरफुल. Here the identity is stated. Pratyek means inside me, consciousness. There is consciousness inside me. And as I told you, when we try to search for that consciousness, I and my do not remain. Then only the real consciousness can be found. And in such a case, it will appear that he is universal. So, yeah, abhati, that which appears as consciousness inside me, it is actually Advayananda. Advayananda means joy, consciousness is bliss without two. Advaya, we do not say one. One presupposes two have joined. But Advaya means not dual, non-dual. Two are not there. So, inside me is that reality which does not admit of any two. So, that one is identical with that. And identity becomes complete when the other side is true. Advayananda Rupasya Pratyek Bodhaika Lakshana. If you want to find out the Advayananda Bodh, the consciousness which is bliss, non-dual, we'll find it within ourselves. So this he is at a distance. Oh God, Swami Vivekananda has told in a nice way that the Christians pray, oh God, nearer to thee. We say we accept this with a change of word. Oh God, nearer to me. And when the God is found to be near, how much near? I am not separate. He is me. He is me. I am He. In both the ways, when you think, then only That is the characteristic of meaning of the word Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi sentence tells us that what we feel inside me is universal. What we feel universal is inside me. So, no difference between I and you, no difference between Tat and Tvam. Identity of Tat and Tvam, once we understand, we have to remember, we should not forget what we have read. Once we understand the meaning of the word, indicated meaning of the word Tvam and indicated meaning of the word Tat, then we'll find that they are identical and it should be thought of as identical. Inside me, what is there? Universal reality. Inside me should not make it circumscribed. Some people conceive Atma is equal to my body, Atma in size is my thumb. Thumb is the place where you experience that. You experience your I there. So there itself you experience God. But when you experience, you will find it is all pervading. These are all matters of experience. Intellectually, how can you understand? Inside you, how there can be universe? Generally, this mistake we do. Vast, infinite means vast. And how can this vast be in a man of 5 feet? How can it possible? Vastness is infinite consciousness. Vastness is there is nothing other than that. That is my consciousness. That if is the nature of my bliss and existence, then I am everywhere. So this shloka proved the identity. Itham anyonya tadatma. I think enough for the day. Slowly we'll proceed. In the next, he says that when we firmly hold on to this, other wrong ideas can be dropped out. So, in effect, uh, though we reread some from 28 onwards, but 32 to 39 is not a wrong progress. So we have read up to 39 today. On the Friday, we shall read from the Shloka 40. We are not far away. 53 are there. So now 14 remain. Let us go. Let us see when it ends. We need not care about that. Let us proceed as we are proceeding. Om सर्गस्थितिप्रलयहेतुमचिन्त्य शक्तिं विश्वेश्वरं विदितविश्वमनन्तमूर्तिं निर्मुक्तबन्धनमपारसुकाम्बुराशिं श्रीवल्लभं विमलबोधगणं नमामि यस्य प्रसादात् अहमेव विष्णुर्मय्येव सर्वं परिकल्पितं च इत्थं विजानामि सदात्मरूपं तस्याङ्घ्रिपद्मं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम् ॐ शान्ति 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 हरि ओम तत्सत् श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणम्